Sup players, and welcome back to another King of Games video. I apologize that this has taken a little bit of time, but yeah, we're back with another one of these videos. So yeah. Basically this is episode number 10, I believe. Yeah, number 10. Where I'm on Goki and my opponent here is on Rocket. Because I thought it could be fun to make this, type of anime duel, some sort of way like that. So yeah. My opponent won the die roll, and he started out here by summoning Gateway Dragon. I apologize for the lightning right here, or yeah, the light basically. And then he uses Gateway's effect to special summon Shell Rocket here, and then he links the first one away to summon out Striker Dragon to be able to search Boots Exile Launch, which is a really crazy good card for Rockets. But yeah. I'm also looking after upgrading the rocket deck after the support that we will be receiving in Burst Protocol. Really looking forward to that. So yeah. And yeah, basically he ends on he has Magna Rocket Dragon and the Borreload Dragon here. Because with the house rules, we only need the materials that is written on the card. So in this term, at least 2 monsters, I believe, is the correct amount of materials that you need. But I start my turn out here by normal summoning Goki Twist Cobra. I'm sorry for the tongue twister right there. And yeah, he activated on summon, I believe, Quick Launch to summon a rocket monster that will be destroyed in the end phase. And if you guys don't know, if you have slept under a rock for the past 2 years, I believe, that rocket has at least been out. Or at least Dragon Link. In some sort of way. Past 2 years, what am I talking about? But for the past, I will say, around the past 7 years, 7 years, something like that. Then all rockets has the ability that when they are targeted by the effect of a link monster, they can destroy themselves and then use an additional effect. So in this type of in this situation, he pops a card, I believe, or pops a monster not target. So yeah, that's crazy. And here we are quickly just use reading the effects, and he destroys my Goki Twist Cobra, where I declare the effect to search any Goki card since it was sent from the field to the graveyard. And while I'm searching here, I believe that, yeah, I am going to return with Local Masters next year. I believe that I will begin to upload it again in the beginning of January, which is actually only a little week. A little week from now, basically. So yeah, that's just some quick information here. What I do here is that synchro summon into the new Goki monster, and then I'm going to use the effect of Headbat and also what's it called? The new synchro. Not the new synchro. The new tuner that they got. And here my opponent uses Squib Draw's effect to pop Auto Rocket Dragon and draw 2 cards. And yeah, we're just quickly reading the cards that we have. I activate Goki Rematch here, targeting 2 Goki monsters. And my opponent activates MST in response and destroys and negates the effect. Because and that is just a part of our rules. When a spell trap is destroyed, it's it's also negated. Sorry for the little tongue twister right there. It's been a while since I've made what's it called, a voiceover, so have some patience if yeah, I'm misspeaking some words. And yeah, basically also in terms of the local masters videos, I'm going to do it in that sort of way, so I will not I will no longer be, making a voiceover or putting music on, but just let you guys hear you know, the whole audio that's normally there. However, I will say in each of the local masters videos, I will, however, be, you know, making a quick voiceover, and yeah, but most of the video will just be the entire video in itself without any voiceovers or any, um, music on. But yeah, basically here, guys, I've linked something into Goki Sheik Ogre, I believe is the name. And basically, my opponent has the most upper hand here because he has a lot of different, things that he still can do with his cards, and I will say most of the times, um, I will say that most of the times the decks that I play against in this series are specific decks. I will say that in some situations are very combo heavy, like they are very versatile instead of the decks that I play. Because I will say in this situation with the Gokis, yes, they are very versatile. They can do different amount of things, especially also with the new support that they received. But what I find annoying with the Goki deck is that the extra deck is super duper tight. Like you can't really fit anything else in the extra deck except for Goki monsters. So so basically, I play only one of each of the Gokis in this situation here. And here I believe that, yeah, I actually don't know how long we have been here. He's going to put those away to make. He's going to link some all of them away to make. I believe he makes Boral Lint Dragon, like I believe that is the card that he makes right here, which I will say makes sense in some sort of way. Because that is the most annoying card in the entire Boral archetype. And I believe that here he activates the effect of Boral Load Dragon to um re- no, he actually takes control over it. My bad. That was my mistake. And that is permanent, so yeah, my monster is now on my opponent's side of the field. Which I could have which I find very annoying in some sort of way, but that is just how Konami have decided to make the monsters. And here I activate Goki. The new Goki spell, I can't remember the name, but it allows me to. It has the effect that I can tribute a Goki Link monster, I believe, to special summon Goki, Dino or G Golem from my extra deck, I believe. But I can't remember the name of the card. And here I have, and also when it's activated, I believe it can special summon a Goki monster from my hand. And then I use Headbat's effect here, I believe, to summon it to the side of the field. And then I believe my opponent activates Border Load Dragon's effect here to target and destroy, and then that will be destroyed. And basically, one of the things that I, in some sort of way, find annoying in this, in this kind of in this series, is that in the end, that yes, I know that we played a lot of competitive decks, but most of the times, but I will say, in some sort of way, I feel like that it is sometimes reminding me about advanced format. But in the end, it's just basically how the decks are, how I have made the decks. So that is just my fault, I guess. I believe that I'm reading here. I'm reading one of my Goki Link monsters. And I know it takes me a little bit of time because I feel like that right here I'm looking after an out to, yeah, basically Borload Dragon, I believe, to begin with, is the biggest thing that I'm looking after an out to. And basically, most of the Gokis are stated on the card that it needs at least 2 Goki monsters, which means that I actually only need 2 Gokis on my side of the field to link away. And I have Goki Beer Hug on the field as well, alongside with Twist Cobra because I revived them with Rematch. And basically here, guys, I linked those away, I believe, to make a power load ogre here, as I can see. And I also get a search of both of the Goki cards, because, and that is what I like a little bit about the Gokis, is that the fact about that no matter which of them, except of the Link monsters, I believe, are sent to the graveyard, you will get a free search of any Goki card, except the card that is sent to the graveyard, which makes sense in that situation right there. And basically, guys, here I look after, cards where I know, okay, I can. Is there a chance that I can actually, get over Borderload Dragon? Because that, in my opinion, right here in this duel, I will say Borderload Dragon is one of the more annoying ones, plus Borderlint, because Borderlint Dragon is basically just a big tower, plus it destroys monsters, I believe. Plus it can negate, so it's basically everything that you will hate in one duel. So yeah. But basically, guys, I will say I always enjoy making these types of videos because it gives you another perspective on how the different decks work, even though that you in some sort of relation already know how the decks work. Like for example, when you if you haven't even played, let us just say Dragon Link. Like I have never played Dragon Link. I have played the Rocket deck a couple of times, many times actually. I played it when they were first released in Rocket Revolt because and back in that day GameStop was still a thing in my country. But they closed down in 2020 because of that virus thing. So yeah. But back to the duel, I will say here. I believe that I ask about the whole thing. How the effects work on the rocket monsters, or not the rocket monsters. Sorry, the portal monsters. And here I look after summoning a second copy of um Goki the Power Load Ogre. Also, before we continue, guys, if some of you guys is confused about why my opponent isn't placing his link monsters down below in his main monster zones, well, the reason for that is because that if you can remember the house rules, link monsters are only allowed to be put in the extra monster zone. But since we're placing the playmats like this, well, then we have to figure out some other alternative ways to put our monsters in the extra monster zone. So that's why my opponent places his monsters right beside each other, and yeah. And I believe that I actually just spent most of the time here to figure out what should I make right here, what should I play right here, and yeah. And that is also a little bit of you know a thing that you could say now where I actually realize it. But in some sort of way, he wasn't actually in by twisting the rules a little bit. Let's say that my opponent here couldn't actually take control over She-Ogre since it is a link monster, and that was just something that I did not realize at the time. Neither of us did. Um, but that is something that I just realized now, where I'm actually making the voiceover, that he couldn't actually, make this play, take permanent control over my monster, since it's a link monster that needs to be put in an extra monster zone. So yeah. Um, and here I believe that I made an additional power load over. I believe that I made here. I actually can't remember what I summoned here. I believe it's an additional power load over. And then I normal summon out Goki, right, Scobio, since I control no monsters or only control Goki monsters. Then I can normal summon him. Um, and yeah, basically here I believe that he uses Boot Sector Launches effect to do something. I don't know. And then my opponent special summons Absolute Dragon since he controls a rocket monster on his side of the field, then he can summon that. And then he was about to link summon, I believe, and um and basically I reminded him here, I believe, about that he can only use those monster zones, the extra monster zones. But yeah, here he destroys the with Rocket Tracer, I believe, to summon. I can't remember which of the rockets that he summoned. I believe it might be have been rocket. Uh, it's Rocket Caliber. I see now. So he link summons his Borload Dragon alongside with his Absolute Dragon away to link summon into the copy of I actually can't remember what did he summon here. Boiled Sword, I believe. Yeah, that's a Boiled Sword that he made there. And then I don't know if he triggers the Absoluter since it was sent to the graveyard. He might have. Um, I actually don't know. I believe that here I might have been asking into the whole effects and how the different things can be used. Oh yeah, I actually now where I think about I'm using an effect here, I believe. I don't know if it's Power Load Ogre's effect. Yeah, I'm actually using Power Load Ogre's quick effect to tribute another monster to destroy cards. So I destroy all cards, and then he summons out his Rocket Synchron here and makes Borload Savage Dragon. Again, guys, a rule to this type of series: the ban list is not effective in this series, so we can play all cards. Most of the decks that we have in this series are not using banned cards. In this situation, we are using Savage Dragon, but then again, in my opinion, in some situations and in some sort of way, I will say that Borderlord Savage Dragon is actually a card that could come back from the ban list right now, or at least on the next ban list, because I feel like that it's not doing that much anymore. But yeah, basically, I feel like I understand why they have done it. I understand why Konami still has Savage Dragon banned, but yeah. I can't remember if I actually did boost my Link monster here or what I did. Um, I might have. I might have done that. I don't know. Yeah, and I believe that I just quickly are I'm quickly reading my spell card. But basically here I normal summon another right Scopio. And yeah. I don't know what the best Link monster in this situation would be to summon out. From the Gokis. But here, as we can see, I've made Goki the Great Ogre because it removes the defense points from attack points on all monsters my opponent controls. So, yeah, I will say it's a pretty good card. And probably also the best card in this situation that I could have made. Now, where I think back to it. But in the end, I believe that here I actually just think about what can I do to, in some situations, what can I do to, get rid of all of this. And um, here I activate Goki finishing move to boost my Great Ogre with 1000 attack. And basically here, when a card in with these rules, when a card states that until the end of this turn, that means until the end of the next turn of that player. Which means that in this situation, my Great Ogre will have 1000 extra attack until my next end phase. So yeah. Um, and here I'm reading a trap card that I'm playing in my Goki deck. One of the more old school traps that I thought could potentially be a good card that could help me, maybe. And here my opponent links summons into Boral Guard Dragon, which means that that card cannot be destroyed by card effects, I believe. And yeah. And then my opponent also special summons out Link Build Dragon, which is I will say potentially a very good card in his favor here. And really bad in my situation right here. And then I believe that he's going to use the effect to destroy my card, I believe. Or yeah, he destroys the card. And then he swings for a good amount of chunk of damage, or he would attack for game. And then I use Heartfeel Appeal to take control over his Borload Savage Dragon until my next end phase. The card cannot attack or change its battle positions. So that's, I would say, it's not the best card. It's not the best thing in this situation, I will say. But yeah. And also with the hand that I have right here, I will say this. This is where I think to myself, okay, I need to do something this turn. So I reveal and special summon both monsters. Now I have a good amount of cards, so I can link them into a Goki monster. And yeah, basically, with the cards that I have here, I will say I don't have I don't have a lot of things that I can do. Basically, that is also what I'm thinking about right here. I'm thinking about what can I make to at least stay alive. Because in the end, basically, the biggest concern right here is that when I end my turn right here, when I go to my end phase, Borlow Savage Dragon will be a problem once again. So here I link something into my Goki Thunder Ogre and searches out two cards, Goki Rematch and Goki. I believe that I'm actually thinking a little bit about my choices here. What should I search? And that is also what I'm thinking a lot about right here. What should I search? But I'm searching tag partner as well. And then I believe that I would activate Goki rematch right here. Just to have, materials on the board for a link summon. And I revive my Synchro, or I do have thoughts about reviving my Synchro. Here, but yeah, basically I'm summoning Twist Cobra because of the attack boost that I can give him. And then I'm summoning Beer Hug because what I did was that I did read my Synchro monster because I thought maybe I can use his effect. But it's actually only when I Synchro summon him that I can use his unsummon effect. Not when I special summon him, what I believe at least. And yeah, basically here, I believe that I'm just ending my turn right here. Because, yeah, I don't have that much more gas in my extra deck to continue with. And yeah, basically, yeah, I believe that, yeah, I can do something. And yeah, we move to my end phase. Savage Dragon will return to my opponent's side of the field, still with 3 negates. So yeah. And basically my opponent summons out Rocket. I believe it's a rocket monster, right? Or is it? It's a little bit hard to see. Yeah, it looks like Rocket Caliber. Yeah, it is a Rocket Caliber right here. And yeah, he swings at me for seemingly, I will say, yeah, I believe that he attacks my attack position monster for seemingly game, where I'm going to use the the effect of Twist Cobra to boost, and then he is going to negate, I believe. He's not gonna negate. He just swings for a lot of damage here. And then he's going to attack that, and then he will attack for seemingly a lot of damage right here, right? I actually don't know. But yeah, he's going to take a swing, and I believe that I'm going to use an effect in my hand to negate the attack, but he is going to negate it, I believe. Yeah, I believe that I am using Octo Strength's effect to take half damage, but he negates it, so basically that's game. I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.